Welcome back to the Family Album, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
This is a show where two dudes talk tunes.
The point of the show is that we do some album reviews and do some, some commentary, see what we feel about the albums. Each week, we bring each other an album of our own liking, and we try to, critique it.
Give our thoughts, our opinions, no matter how wrong they are.
In a tasteful way,
Yeah. Last week, you heard our very special guest episode where we talked about pentatonics.
Oh, my God. That was quite a listening session that I had.
It certainly was. One I hope to never have again.
No, I agree.
But yeah, we're back to the regular format this week. Next week, we'll have another guest with another theme, and you have to just wait and see what that is.
AJ, I have a question for you.
Yes?
Have you ever been stuck inside of a computer?
God, if I had a nickel.
Well, I would not imagine it's fun.
No, I can't imagine either. The internet's a scary place.
Yes,
both
it is.
Inside and out.
And especially in the year 2012.
Oh, yes, sirree.
2012 internet, that's when memes were just starting, but not like the good memes. It was always like the white,
impact text?
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, who could forget classics like Bad Luck Brian, Grumpy Cat?
Philip Fry.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell if this is blank or this is blank.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, no.
2012 sucked.
It really did. And the movie was even fucking worse.
Why? Honestly, we should have died.
No, really. Would have been better than the movie.
Well, speaking of the internet, that's kind of an unintentional theme we have this week for both of our albums.
No, for real. I feel like the internet is definitely something that carried like both of our album choices.
Yeah, man.
And boy, do we have some interesting ones.
We do have some interesting ones. A lot of differing opinions and a lot of similar opinions. All right, so let's get started.
Yeah.
Matt, who would you like to go first this week?
You know what? I'll start off.
All right.
Well, AJ, you picked quite a delectable, delicious album.
Tasty little treat.
Oh, yes. It was tasty.
I am very glad you enjoyed this album.
This was honestly one of the best concept albums I've listened to in so long. Like, genuinely, I was so impressed. And the album that we are talking about is Floral Shoppe by Macintosh Plus.
Otherwise known as Vectroid.
Oh, so they have two names.
Yeah, so she's an artist, kind of like MF Doom, who goes under different guises.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is really cool. She's done a ton of stuff. There's not really a lot of history on this album. Basically, the history is it was made and put online, and then it just became the face of vaporwave, which is the genre of this album.
And it's very, very much deserving of the title, The Face of Vaporwave, because my God, this just got me into vaporwave. It is a vaporwave concept album about like a computer.
Yeah.
Essentially. And like a specific program and maybe a little bit of a story. I don't know. It's so, oh God, everything about it. I'm so excited to get into with my in-depth notes.
Oh, dude, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this. I guess just for like a little more background.
Yes.
Let me get my notes real quick.
AJ is our historian, as you know.
Yes, sir. So Vectroid, her real name is Ramona Andra Xavier. She was born in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, nice.
She began making electronic music back in 2005, where she, again, made electronic music under a bunch of different guises. Then around 2011, which is when this album was released, December 9th, under the indie label Beer on the Rug, she released the titular Floral Shoppe. And it was very polarizing upon release. Not a lot of people liked it because it was too weird, too experimental, and not the typical kind of music because it's very sample heavy, and we'll get into that.
It's very funny when it comes to albums that are polarizing. Like the only one that comes to mind immediately was Pinkerton by Weezer.
Yeah, man.
It's very funny when like albums like that are like so like mixed reviews or terrible at the time. But then like later on they become just these absolute gems.
They're classics. Like everyone loves them.
Yeah. This is like, is this I guess the Pinkerton
of vaporwave?
Yeah.
Maybe I guess I could see that because like vaporwave as a genre was pretty frowned upon when it first like came out. People still really don't like it, which I mean I guess I kind of get, but also it's a fun genre, so lighten up, guys.
Nah, this definitely deserves the title, The Face of Vaporwave. And right away, I love the aesthetic. All of the track titles are in Japanese characters, and I think aesthetically that is the most pleasing thing.
Yeah, man.
Like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, vaporwave is a genre that's heavily rooted in its aesthetic. It's basically like late 80s, early 90s technology, especially computer software, some neon colors, and Japanese culture.
No,
which meshes together very well.
So well. Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump into it.
Yeah, man.
The opener, it's such a good opener.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I think what's one thing I love about these songs is like they're all like not too long. They kind of vary in length a little bit.
Yeah.
But my goodness, so good.
Mm-hmm.
I really just love the overall vibe that the first song sets. It has this amazing, like, I literally wrote down the definition of vaporwave.
Yeah, dude.
Boot.
It's
that
hazy.
Is what it's called.
It's a little dark, a little mysterious. There's a lot of stuttering, low pitched vocals, a lot of repetition.
The riff they did with the horn, it's so like. It's oddly cathartic.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even describe it.
It goes into like the sour notes section when it slows down really slow, then picks right back up again.
I think, you remember in the last, or one of the last episodes, it was actually the first episode, I believe, when I mentioned how Steely Dan, they used like chords to convey emotions very well. Mm-hmm. Like with all these like different like dissonance and like, you know, resolving tones.
Yeah.
The samples just, I feel like the push and the constant like, push of like conflict.
Yeah, there's a lot of like impact on there.
Like, I feel it. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And Boot just does such a great job of opening this whole journey.
It sets the tone.
It felt like I was starting up an old computer in the 80s. Like, I went back in time with this album.
Exactly. That's the point.
It was immaculate. I love it so much. And the next one.
Oh, dude.
AJ raves about this, and I see why. Mm-hmm. Like, genuinely, this entire album is going to be me praising it heavily. I'm so impressed. I didn't expect anything bad from this album, but my goodness.
Dude, Lisa Frank 420 / Modern Computing. What a phenomenal follow-up. Especially, you have such a dark opening with Boot, and then you just hit this like super smooth boo doo 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 doo.
I love the little dissonance that when I tried to join in, I guess I was a semitone too high, but it was so good. It's like a haunting, like peaceful, like
it's like melancholy.
It is. It's like it's funky. It's sad. It has really cool tones.
Yeah, the like super breathy vocals because this is a sample from Diana Ross's "It's Your Move."
That is lovely.
Yeah,
I actually love that song.
Yeah, man.
I did not know that.
It's just slowed down and like mixed around a little bit.
I love. Okay, one thing I wrote down in my notes was that I really loved when the beat starts to subdivide, but it's like a little bit off kilter. Mm-hmm. Like yes, mm-hmm. It sounds like train noises on an NES.
Okay,
it's like it's such a weird, like, I can't even do it.
You should listen to it for yourself, man.
It's like perfectly offbeat. Mm-hmm. It's like offbeat enough where it's like
it's not like super disorienting. It fits.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like a clumsy sort of like step into the next. Mm-hmm. Like, I love it.
It's like finding your footing in like accidentally correct way.
It's like chaos, but at the same time,
it's controlled chaos.
Yeah. Like, you're fine with it. Everything's chill. Like, I honestly can see myself just like walking early in the morning. It's maybe a little bit of a cool breeze. And I'm just like with my headphones on, just vibing, just to Lisa Frank / Modern Computing. So good. And the ending too with the Modern Computing.
When everything like starts like slowing down.
Yes.
I really like basically the overall tone of this album where it's kind of like cautionary nostalgia, or just looking back on the past culture that we so glamorize and just saying like, hey man, like it wasn't that great. A lot of bad stuff happened there too. And it's just kind of like distorting what we think we love and like kind of like dissecting it.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the amazing thing about it is they do this by conveying it with like the musicality and with like only sound.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of vocals in this. No. And what is there, it's
a sample.
It's only a few words that speaks volumes. Like, it's incredible. With that in mind, the next track was one that I really enjoyed.
This track ruined me. I love this track, which is the title track, Floral Shoppe.
Oh my God. Okay. So AJ and I recommend each other music like all the time, and that's part of the reason why we started this podcast in the first place, because we wanted to subject you guys to it as well.
Yeah, if we have to hear you do too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the people or one of the artists that I recommended AJ a long time ago is this band called Justice. Specifically, this album called Cross. Well, it's not called Cross. It's a self-titled album.
Yeah.
But
it's like the fan dub is called Cross, right? The fan name.
Yeah, the fandom calls it Cross, and I like it. It's not for everybody. It's really aggressive. It's like aggressive Daft Punk.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
But they have this one song that is almost like vaporwave. It's called Valentine.
Okay.
And I felt like Floral Shoppe was very much like Valentine, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Actually, the whole album kind of reminds me of Valentine.
Okay.
It has like this weird sort of like hazy sort of almost like you can't smell music, but it's aromatic.
That's a good way to put it.
You know, like it feels like you're smelling roses, so you almost think you're smelling roses. Roses.exe, it's a computer.
It's about the nostalgia thing, man.
Exactly.
I think this track, the title track, really leans into the concept of just dissecting that, because it's sampled from Paige's song, If I Saw You Again. And I listened to this album at work just like as a refresher, and I listened to that song on the ride home. And it felt wrong to listen to like the actual song. So I'm like, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Because it's taking chunks of the song, just kind of like mashing them together where they don't belong, kind of, you know, repeating stuff, slowing stuff down, speeding stuff up. Whereas the Paige song just is a straight ahead thing.
Yeah.
And it's so different. Like,
it really is.
Which is incredible that she's able to just make something completely new out of this existing thing.
There are elements to this amazing track that sound like you're in like a dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's quite a pleasant experience. I also just have to comment, whatever modular synth she used to dampen the attack on the horns, my God, like it's ear candy at its finest. Like it really is.
It's beautiful.
It's incredible. Floral Shoppe, definitely, it's a title track that definitely lives up to its the whole album. The whole album is so consistent.
It really defines the album too, which is really perfect.
Now, this next track,
this is iconic in the vaporwave scene.
It's every single track on here. I was not disappointed. Well, I have some notes at the end, but
we'll get to that.
We will get to that. It starts to get a little funky when it comes to the order later on, but we'll keep going. About it.
Track 4,
Library. Oh my God. The chord progression is amazing.
So good.
It kind of just goes like, it's just, I love the half step. It's such a great, it's incredible.
So this is also a sample from another Paige's song called You Need a Hero, which is the chorus of the song.
I love the chorus. This was the one that resonated with me so much. It felt like me walking like in the middle of summer and just kind of like thinking about life. Like, I feel like in high school, this would have been my shit. Like, I really wish I came onto this in high school, because this would have been my shit. I would have listened to this and nothing else.
I get that.
Like, genuinely, I wish I discovered this earlier.
It's definitely like a foreign album, because especially for the time that it came out, when like nothing like this was being done.
Yeah. No, for real. The chorus is, you need a hero, someone to rescue you. For some reason, that resonated with me like so much. Because I feel like I've both been the person who's needed rescuing and the person who rescued.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to sort of be on both ends of the spectrum. But this one, it's incredible. I was about to say hilarious, because it is kind of funny. Like, it's weird. But it's funny how so little words just like opened up such like a big like
such like an impact.
Yes, and opened such an array of thoughts.
I feel like too, like the kind of like the filter that's put on it, because it has like, it deafens the song with like, or like, I guess it just slows it down, so the voices sound like deeper and breathier. So it just has like that much more of an impact on you. It like hits a lot more than the original song does.
You need a hero. I love the way that lyric resonates though. Man. It is incredible.
It's impactful.
You need a hero, someone to rescue you. It's like, I don't know, I literally the images that I get, it's so vivid. Like, you know, when you're so absorbed in something you're doing on like your phone, really your computer. I feel like computer's the big one. It's the big motif. I feel like I feel like there's so many more words to be said despite the words that were given. Like, there's so much around it.
Yeah, it's basically just kind of like, even though there's like, I guess, so little given, there's still so much to take in and so much to like comprehend and put your own like interpretation into.
And it's like amazing, because that's such a real line, but since it's through this like
distortion.
It's through this distortion, and it's also through this like idea that it's just running up a computer program, haha. Like I feel like that is such a common thing where you have people drown out intense thoughts and people drown out these like huge things that happen in life with technology nowadays. And I feel like that's such a huge, like half of the real thoughts that I have, like the real ones when I'm thinking, is when I'm listening to music. And it's just, I feel like I use music to drown out, or either to drown out or to think about things.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is just such like a great example of like how
to do that right.
Yeah. Pretty much just like submerging yourself within whatever like technological internet outlet is there. I feel like this song encapsulates that, given the fact that it sounds all like you're coming up roses, but at the same time, that's a phrase, right?
Yeah, everything's coming up roses.
Yeah. I don't want to give a very explicit. I was worried that wasn't a phrase for a moment.
So the phrase actually, I'm coming on roses.
I see. Trademarked by the family.
Yes.
No, but I think like we kind of try to pretend like everything is fine, but in reality, we could be having like these crazy thoughts, like while either listening to music or watching something or streaming or
just remembering something like from the past, and just like, man, like if someone was there, it could have been so much better.
You're just like playing FIFA and like, shit, man. Shit.
I've been there every day of my life, man.
But yeah, Library. I also just had to say the synth horn riffs in this one. Amazing. Delectable,
if you will.
Now, this is where the album takes kind of a dramatic drop. And may I say, loved it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The creativity when it comes to like the whole concept, it almost is like Daft Punk level with the amount of like, they went like ham, or she went ham on these nuances.
Yeah.
And it makes the album just like say 1,000 words, even though there's only like not that many lyrics.
No, because like, again, this is just from pre-created songs. Like they're using the lyrics from these songs, but just like putting their own filters and their own distortions on it, creating something entirely new, which is so cool. And actually, this the track number 5, Geography, the thing that Vectroid is sampling is from an N64 game.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, it's called Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and it's from the water level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to that. This sounds very, very interesting. Geography, it was very intense.
Yeah, man, it's heavy.
Like, it feels like this is the all-time low section of if you're going down an internet rabbit hole trying to drown out your heavy feelings.
Like, it's suffocating.
Like, it feels like, I feel like I've been there. Like, I almost was able to pinpoint an exact moment where I felt like this song was playing in my brain, you know? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, it's just like stress, just constant anxiety and just like uneasiness.
Justice has a song called Stress.
Oh.
And it sounds like you're going to die when you listen. It's fantastic. Maybe we'll talk about it more later. What I also loved about was at one point there's like this cinematic like bass drum sting that happens in the middle of it. And it was so powerful in my headphones. I thought I was like entering the back rooms. I was like, yo, wait a second.
Hold up.
It was giving me such like Uncanny Valley, like, the Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible, Uncanny Valley, like me, and the da-da-da-da, and it's a like it really, like it starts to get like really like, and then it starts to the da-da-da, like I don't know, but the really creepy one where he's all black and white and like distorted and his eye holes are like out, like that's the one where it reminded me of this, but in like still kind of a nicely done like way. It's like, it's disturbingly pleasant. It is, but it also feels like you're teleporting to somewhere scary, but it's also real and raw at the same time.
Yeah, man.
Especially when you take it in context with like the past 3. You boot up the computer, true. you start.
You're having a good time
with Lisa Frank, and then that sounds. Floral Shoppe is kind of like this weird like juxtaposition where like I don't know.
Everything's just kind of like glitching out.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm kind of interested. I never really thought of this as a concept album.
It feels like one.
So what's like your, I guess, interpretation of that? I
feel like this album, like what do you mean? Like
I just kind of thought it was just like you know, an album full of tracks with, I guess, a similar like a theme. But do you think it's like telling a story or just like?
I feel like it's weird with the amount of it feels like there's like it's climbing up on this like plot pyramid.
Yeah.
And then there's like a fall when it gets to geography. It's not like a dramatic. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of is.
I guess like compared to the other 4 tracks.
But like I felt it. Like there was definitely like some sort of like quick drop.
Like it's paced extremely well.
I feel like this is almost like a vaporwave concept album talking about like drowning out sorrows with the plethora of things.
Escapism. Yeah.
That's thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Escapism of like your really real thoughts, emotions, and like, I don't know, responsibilities, vices.
Like, kind of like wishing for like the good old days.
Yeah.
But like you find out they're not that great.
Yeah. And just drowning it out with technology and specifically the internet.
Yeah.
I feel like low key, that's why I'm trying to like say about the nuances and stuff like that. I feel like it is a concept album about escapism.
Yeah.
From like really heavy things in life.
Okay.
By escaping into the internet.
That's a really cool interpretation.
It's wild because like I can also see it just being a bunch of tracks on an album, but like I feel it. Like it's weird.
That's great. Like honestly, man, that's awesome. That has like such like an impact on you. That's sick.
It's so good. I try to find a story in everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I don't know. I search for meaning. I search for meaning in everything. And I felt like there definitely was just something there and it didn't need words to express it. And I feel like that's kind of why Daft Punk is so popular. Maybe I'm just I'm used to trying to find that in like music like this,
gotcha.
I guess, in any kind of EDM music, except like the later one that we will discuss.
Yeah, we will get to in a little bit.
But I'll try to go a little bit quicker with these. Chill Divin' with Echo is track number 6.
Beautiful track.
My God, I literally wrote down the beginning sounds like heaven.
It's so good, especially coming after Geography, because it comes off of You Need a Library, dips down to Geography, then way the fuck back up with Chill Divin'. It's like such like a nice, like I guess like tonal journey.
It really is. Like I can also argue that like a person like drowning out the turbulent portions of a person's psyche and just it kind of getting dragged along by the internet and like this need for escapism that you find through the internet. I feel like that's also kind of what the theme of the album is, maybe, because like think about it. If you take a hard fall with Geography and then all of a sudden you're back up again, like
it just happens.
We're a very humans are very fickle nowadays.
Yeah.
We have the attention span of goldfish and we can sometimes be easily brought down, but also brought back up again. So I feel like Chill Divin' with Echo was kind of like that. The sequential like synth riff, the arpeggiated, like, oh my gosh, it was incredible. It's like this broken like doo-doo-doo, like it's like this insane like thing. I've only heard it in Touch by Daft Punk.
Okay.
It's like this incredible little riff or whatever with all these like variations. It sounds like you're on a spaceship.
Ooh.
Like flying to like somewhere nice. Like it's so nice on the ears.
It's very, very pleasant, like easy listening thing. It's like it just feels like so earned, especially like after everything's just that you've been through so far.
No.
It's just like a nice, let's just take some time to reflect before we move on.
Exactly. There's such a nice cosmic feel to it. It makes you feel like you're floating in space.
Yeah, man.
And also the modulated guitar. Oh my God. Especially like in the B section, the song feels magical.
Yeah.
Like,
it's otherworldly.
It really is. And I really love how it flows into Mathematics, the 7th track.
Which has a kind of a similar vibe to Geography, but like a lot less dark.
A lot less dark and a lot more directional.
Yeah.
I think.
Like there's like so much going on in like in your ears.
Like Chill Divin' with Echo has like this spatial, almost non-secular feel. Like it's up there, you're looking for it, you're reaching for it, but you can't touch it. But then some of that comes back down.
Yeah.
And Mathematics feels like something palpable.
Yeah, it grounds you.
It does.
It's industrial. It kind of reminds me of the Eraserhead soundtrack in a way, but way more fucking pleasant.
I can oddly, I haven't listened to a lot of the Eraserhead soundtrack, but I can, from what I have heard, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
The only comparison I could make a little bit was actually Detroit by Gorillaz.
Okay.
Like weirdly enough, the beat was kind of like, for some reason, it reminded me of that.
I gotcha.
Also, probably the key signature, I think, of like the don't ask me, I'll have to go back and listen. Fair. But it reminded me kind of that. It has like this weird like abstract synth lead in like up high.
Yeah.
But then there's also like a nice little beat. So
good track.
It is. great track.
I believe tracks 6, 7, and 8 are all sampled from the 90s band Dancing Fantasy. I don't know all the track names, but like that's what Chill Divin', Mathematics, and the next track Standby all sample. Just like different songs from their discography.
Yeah. The album starts to get a little bit funky
around this section. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different releases of this album since it was released on the internet.
And it never actually got like a proper like, except on Apple Music.
Oh, it's on Apple Music?
It is on Apple Music.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
But yeah, it was released on Bandcamp, which is basically the primary way to get vaporwave music. So that's kind of the official track list, which is what we're using here.
Yeah.
But there's so many different versions on like YouTube and Wikipedia that list.
And all of them are amazing. Like I honestly, even the ones that aren't necessarily like associated or whatever, like offhand.
Yeah, with, like on the original, I guess, release.
They're all beautiful, beautiful songs. Like after Mathematics, there's this amazing, at least this, I'm basing this off of the 2012 cassette and 2017 vinyl digital releases. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get into some of like the bonus ones in the 2012 digital reissue.
Okay.
Because this is where it starts to get funky with the order.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to just 2 of them. Then there are 2 actual ones that like matter.
Yeah.
And then 3 bonuses actually.
Yeah.
So these are 2 little additions to the 2017 vinyl digital release and the 2012 cassette. It's called Foreign Banks Aviation. And
I actually have not listened to this version. I listened to the complete edition like a while ago, so I don't really remember it too well.
It's very nice. I enjoy it quite a lot. Foreign Banks Aviation definitely has this amazing sort of like flying feel to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, very directional. It's not as spacey as Chill Divin', but it's very, very good. Am Pico, it's a pleasant one. It's fun. I don't really feel like, I kind of feel like even though as much as I like it, it definitely didn't need to be added.
Yeah.
But definitely solid
Yeah.
for sure.
But back to the canon, the canon release.
The last 2 that I will mention, there are other demos and other editions, and there's even like a complete version.
Yeah.
But the last 2 that I will mention, at least maybe last 3. The next one in this canonical order is called Standby. And may I say, it's not my favorite one, but it still hits pretty hard.
It's a lovely kind of like break from everything. The last 2 songs are very short.
Yes.
But they work very well, like pacing wise. Like this is just a fun little like synth break.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very nice because it's just like the titles I feel like did not really like immediately prove to be indicative of like the theme initially. But I feel like Standby is very much deserving of that title.
100%.
Because it's just sort of like, please stand by. You know what
like
I mean?
you're just not like a waiting period for the album to end.
Yeah. And then finally, the one that I've been waiting for, Tay.
The album closer.
It's literally like Valhalla.
It's beautiful.
It is the definition of, it's got birds. It's got like this amazing synth to it. It feels like you're entering a different plane.
So this is actually sampled from another video game music. It's from a Sega Saturn game called Tri-Rush Deppy.
Surprisingly, I've actually heard of that.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's weird. I gotta, because I think that was one of the ones that was on like, they used to have like a bunch of like plug and play systems.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was one of them.
Okay. That's
maybe,
cool.
if I'm thinking of the right one. Maybe not. I don't know. But I've heard the name before regardless.
It works so well.
It is fantastic. I literally have nothing more to say other than the fact that it sounds like heaven. I will say, I won't go into detail about these other 3, but if you want some more...
before we get into that, I just want to say just like Tay as a closer, if going on the concept album, it kind of feels like you're free. Like you just kind of like got out of this like this internet rut and you're just like back in, I guess like in the real world.
No, for sure.
Just like a huge relief after kind of like going through that whole process.
See, there's some motif here, and I want to analyze it more on my own time. I can't wait. Goodness gracious, it is honestly such like a worthwhile listen.
It's a phenomenal album. It's only like 45 minutes, a little less depending on like what order you listen to, because there's so many versions out there.
There are so many like complete album listen throughs on YouTube with chapters and everything. Like I highly recommend listening to this album front
I would
to
also
back.
say support Vextroid on Bandcamp.
Yes.
That's where you can buy, I believe, the album for whatever price you want. I believe that's how Bandcamp works, but I could be wrong.
Honestly, I might do that.
Yeah.
I may have ripped a little bit. But honestly, I kind of want to get the high quality tracks.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I don't know why, but it's worthwhile.
It's phenomenal.
It is quite good. I really highly recommend listening to it. And 3 great additions that are sometimes added, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes lost and sometimes bought. Sorry.
I believe on the Bandcamp version, 2 of these songs are on there.
The ones that I wanted to mention, all 3 of them are almost kind of like bonus tracks, depending on which version you're listening to. They're titled Zone, which is actually labeled as a bonus track. But on this other release, that's a great one. It's a fun one. It's different, but it adds like a different dimension to it. But the other 2 are Moon and Seabed, which are associated with this album, but they're kind of different.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit the same tone.
No, I wouldn't say it does, but they are worth the listen regardless. Like I still think you can add them to something, and they're fantastic.
I feel like they're good companion pieces, but shouldn't be, I guess, attached to the original album, the original release. That's just my opinion.
I feel like it should be looked at. You know how like Coldplay has like
I don't really know Coldplay.
Well, when it comes to Coldplay, they release so many things all the time. Like they also had these little like supplement EPs that came on CDs with like their albums that were like releases based around the album but not on the album.
Yeah.
I feel like Moon and Seabed and whatever ones, because I know there's more, should be looked at as sort of supplement pieces. And if you want to look at it as a whole story, I'd be glad to frame a story for everything. Go ahead. But overall, Floral Shoppe, the original, let's say 9 canonical ones.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's perfect.
Fantastic. Favorite one by far, favorite 2, I'd say, Library and Lisa Frank. Fantastic.
I'd say my favorites are also Lisa Frank and Library. I also really love the title track and Chill Divin.
Chill Divin is fantastic.
So Matt, what would you rate this album?
This album, by far for me, because it got me into a genre, which is hard to do, 10.
Same here, 10 out of 10 or S tier.
I wish I discovered this album earlier. It changed me a little bit in the last few days. It was honestly fantastic. And thank you, AJ, for gracing me.
I'm just happy I'm glad you enjoyed this album because I discovered this album last year when I started getting into vaporwave. Never really clicked with me till recently, and I just fell in love with it. After watching, out of all things, a horror series on YouTube that like used it in one of like their episodes. They used Lisa Frank in an episode. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. So amazing. I went back, revisited it, and I was like, this is fucking great.
It's such a hauntingly peaceful album where I can see it being framed in something like scary.
Yeah.
So amazing. It has range.
All right, man. Well, that was Floral Shoppe.
Yes, it was.
Phenomenal album. Highly recommend. Support Vectroid. Go listen to it. It's phenomenal. But now,
so you know how this show works by now. We're 3 episodes in. AJ gives me an album, and I give him an album right back.
Oh, and he gave it to me right back this week, ladies and gentlemen.
I sure did. AJ, what was the name of the album that I gave you?
Oh, well, this album also goes with our theme about the internet, and it is an album by the name of Recess by Skrillex. And for those of you who don't know, I am not the biggest fan of dubstep.
It's definitely died for a reason.
This album being a great showcase of why.
It is an album.
It certainly is.
Now, for some background, not about the artist, but about Skrillex, for me personally, when I was younger, used to be a huge fan of Skrillex. And I'm not talking like, oh, I listened to Bangarang like a few times. Like, no, I listened to everything. Every single track on every single fucking album I listened to. And good Lord, like I was obsessed for a while.
You're a big Skrillman, right?
Something about just this like weird emo hardcore EDM, like I don't know. And I felt like Skrillex kind of had a weird like artistry to it in a weird way. And I'm glad to elaborate more and more if you want to.
As we go through.
As you go in and you try to talk about Fat Man Shoop. That's one of the people who's on this album.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Fat Man Schmoop.
Is it Schmoop or Shoop?
I don't remember. But I remember one of my notes, I just said he seems like a pleasant fella.
Everybody just bounce! That probably just peaked the microphone.
Oh, that 100% did.
Sorry. Everybody just bow.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, everybody. We could cut that out. Maybe.
No, they deserve it.
They do.
Stop throwing rocks in our fucking windows.
Yeah, for real. Stop rioting. We have
a show to do.
We've had to chill down the masses for days.
There's an anger mob outside right now. But I guess we should dive right into it, shouldn't we?
Oh, yes, we should, AJ.
Starting off with fucking goddamn this fucking names. All's fair in love and Brostep.
Ah, yes.
First note, already hate the title.
To get 1,000 miles from the Earth, a rocket would take this much power.
Yeah, so they do the whole fucking like narration. It's like, oh, it's fucking cool, man. It's like history, and like we're making that history.
Yeah, it's very much he loves samples. He sure does.
Yeah, like so as Matt said, he recommended me Justice's self-titled, and I didn't like it because it's very aggressive electronic. Basically Recess is just Justice times like 20, which is why I do not like it. It's
to even call it like Justice, like it Recess,
to do it justice, if you will.
No, like I used to. It's funny because Recess actually used to be my favorite track on this album. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't really listen to it much anymore because I kind of got out of my dubstep phase when I got into more of the funk and like French house touch with Daft Punk,
which is, in my opinion, way better.
Way better.
Yeah,
by a long shot. 8th grade me would be hurt, but way better. No doubt about it. Recess with Kill the Noise. Kill the Noise is actually, they're pretty decent. They did a song with AWOL Nation. They're pretty good.
Is it like a similar type of group, like electronic?
Yeah. Right. Also, it is Fat Man Scoop.
Fat Man Scoop. All right, not Schmoop.
No, but it's not. It's definitely the title track.
Yeah.
And I feel like it almost sums up the album pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, like it does have it has like that fun. I listened to this track this morning before we came in, and it is I grew a little bit on it, but there's just aspects of this I just can't forgive. It uses the fucking stock kids cheering sound effect, which really makes it like a product of its time, which I think is the biggest flaw of this album.
It dates it.
It dates it so bad. Like the first track, All's Fair in Love and Brostep. It sounds like the backing track's like a Smosh rap video.
But you're right though. That's the fun part. Like you were exactly right about it. And me, when I was watching Smosh and listening to this
is epic.
Yeah. Like 8th grade Matt got turned
to the Legend of Zelda rap.
Legend of Zelda. Screw that. Legend of Link. God, the worst. I hate that I know most of it.
Hey man, it's alright. I also went through that phase.
The Assassin's Creed raps were better anyway.
Oh yeah. Also, when I mentioned that they use the stock cheering sound effect in the song, these are twice, which I was fucking agape aghast that happened. But yeah, Fat Man Scoop is a pleasant fellow. I'm
sure he is.
I'm gonna be honest. Most of these tracks I really don't remember.
Yeah.
They just kind of blend together. Like Try It Out, it just sounds like a shitty Alvin and the Chipmunks song. There's just like so much modulation. I will say the ending drop of this song is one of the better ones, or I'm just kind of becoming numb to it at this point. I'm just getting used to it.
Most likely.
So yeah, Try It Out. Not a big fan, but however, it's to track number 5, Coast is Clear. By far my favorite track on this whole album because it's not fucking dubstep.
No, that's fair.
Skrillex is a pretty good producer when he's not drowning my ears with fucking air horns. And Chance the Rapper is on this, which I had no idea until I looked up. And it really reminded me of Do You Thing by Gorillaz.
Yeah. It does have that vibe.
Which I really enjoyed. Great song. It's my favorite on the album. And Diplo's on this album too, right?
He is. He is on the next track.
Yeah, Dirty Vibe.
Dirty Vibe. I enjoyed it because G-Dragon, I feel like K-pop stars were not getting that much visibility just yet. Like they are on the cusp of it, but like, and he was one of the people putting his foot in the door. I thought it was really cool how Skrillex was one of the first like people to really start to get an album mass produced with him on it. Like it's so awesome in my opinion. The song itself is Dirty Vibe.
Yeah, I say it's extremely obnoxious with one of the less obnoxious drops because most of the drops on this album are fucking annoying. Also, there was just one lyric on here that I had to call out. Watch her ass sing along. And I just said, girl, you fart with that butt?
Good God. Jesus Christ. I don't even remember that one. Dirty Vibe was not one that I listened to like a lot. I never hated it.
That makes one of us.
I'm very curious. I'm sure I know the answer already, but what do you think of Ragga Bomb?
I actually wasn't too harsh on this one. It's one of my more tolerable songs on this album. The Ragga Twins, I think they were cool.
Maybe I liked this in 8th grade because the bass was so much that it would like shake my brain.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Okay.
Maybe I need a good brain shake.
I mean, it definitely kind of changes the pace from like what we've been going through. It's like a different kind of dubstep because it has like the Ragga influence in there rather than just like the straight like the electronic stuff. So it's a nice change of pace. I feel like that's a positive about this album is that Skrillex kind of knows when to like change things up a bit, but at the same time it's like, well, if you know when to, why do you need all this other stuff in there? Just kind of condense it a little more.
I think he just tried to sail with the genre that people knew him with.
That's fair.
And now he hasn't released an album since. But I'd love to hear him do something like really chill.
Mm-hmm. Is this his last album?
Yeah.
Really?
His last full album. I want him to make like honestly, I want to hear him make a chill step album.
Okay.
Like really bad.
Because like there's like signs that he could do it really well, but like this just isn't for me.
Nah. And you want to hear a fun fact?
What's that?
He actually was guys, have you ever seen Skrillex? What he looks like?
Yeah.
He's emo for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He actually had a little EP project that was more of like really electronic, like punk rock music.
Oh.
It was called Gypsy Hook.
Okay.
And not bad. Also, Skrillex can shred. I don't know if you knew that. He also did a song with The Doors.
Like recently?
Back like a while ago. If you don't want, you know how you said know when to cool on the dubstep?
Yeah.
Do not listen to Bangarang in full.
Yeah.
But Bangarang has a dubstep song that I actually enjoy like a lot. It's called Breaking a Sweat, and it features The Doors.
Interesting.
Do not watch the music video. It is disturbing.
Oh.
It is quite disturbing. There is cannibalism.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, do not
Matt,
watch
you say
it.
disturbing, I say hot, so I have a video to watch.
Hey, one man's trash is another man's dinner, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, one man's arm, I don't know. But anyway.
Doompy Poomp is the next song.
I have been waiting to hear AJ's thoughts on Doompy Poomp.
This is a nothing fucking song. You know, there's a term in jazz called noodling. This is noodling for dubstep, and it's fucking terrible. It's kind of like if Pirate Jet by Gorillaz was made by 16th century pirates.
Why the 16th century in particular? Like,
what fucking happened in the 1700s?
That's true.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I do not like this song.
No, it's quite a weird vibe, and I don't really know why. I think
another fun little sound effect, like the stock cheering. The stock boing sound effect is used in there. The boing.
Oh yeah, I know.
That was hot. I will say they had some nice synths towards the end. I said around like 2:15, the synths were cool. Only highlight.
It sure is a song, you know?
It really is.
I think at one point, Skrillex kind of knew that he was like at this level where he could troll people.
Yeah, like it's just a shitter song. I get it. I just think it's stupid.
The music video, I keep telling AJ, is a bit wild. It's a bit of a Groundhog Day situation where like this guy's going to get a job and like apply for a job, and he's like a deadbeat. And he keeps coming back, but then different situations are happening. It reeks of 2014, 2012?
2014. I think, yeah.
It reeks of like mid 2010s.
Yeah.
Like it reeks of it. So, yeah.
So does this album.
That's the most 2010 album of this album. Like it very much.
It encapsulates the decade.
Yeah.
Or at least like the early parts of it.
And I think like, yeah. You know what I say to that song, AJ?
What's that?
Fuck that.
God. Another track I fucking hate.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
God.
Fuck that.
Like I get it.
That.
It's just there as like a sample and a beat. It's so repetitive and annoying.
Doompy Poomp and let's see. just to give you some context, by the way, Skrillex produced Ragga Bomb, Doompy Poomp, Fuck That, and the next 2 tracks all by himself.
Okay.
Like the first 6 or 7 or whatever he did with other people.
Yeah.
But then these are
all him.
Yeah.
All the licks.
Yeah.
I just thought this song was just boring.
It's pretty.
It's like whatever.
It doesn't even please the dubstep fans. Even when I was younger and I liked dubstep, like I feel like it really disappointed me almost.
Yeah. But this next one, I wanted to like it. Like I was severely disappointed by like how it turned out because it starts off phenomenally.
Isn't
Ease My Mind?
Yo, I mean, say what you want. I know it kind of has like a really wild drop, but like honestly, the beginning, it feels like
it's great.
Like it's so like there are remixes of that which make it so much better.
Okay,
and the original Nicki and the Dove, which Ease My Mind, if you do not know, which I imagine you're not Skrill heads, so you wouldn't know. But
Skrill pills, if you will.
It's the fact you added "if you will." Oh, that was incredible. No, so "Ease My Mind" is sampled from a Nicki and the Dove song.
Yeah, they're like an Icelandic electronic group,
and the actual song is kind of cool. It's like a cool club song.
Yeah, I like it. Like, so you watch Mike the Snare on YouTube, right?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen the AJR video?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, basically in that video, there's a game he likes to play where it's how long does it take for this AJR song to lose me? And it's a perfect game to play with this album because the intros of all these songs are pretty good, but it gets to the drop and I just check out. And it's a perfect example here because everything should work out, but once it gets to the drop, it sounds like someone shitting through a clarinet, and I just check out.
I'm so sorry, but your descriptions are amazing. Shitting through a clarinet. Oh my god, y'all! That was amazing. I love that description like so much.
Because like this song, I'm more disappointed than I dislike it because it could have been so great. And you said there's other mixes of it where it's just less. Yeah, like that. Okay.
Same with Ragga Bomb. I'm pretty sure they both have like these like chiller mixes with it.
I might have to check that out then, because like those are songs that I preferred, but it's just hindered by the production. Like it's too much, too distracting.
No, I agree. There is a level in dubstep where you're kind of like, okay, that's enough. You know?
Yeah, it's like pentatonics.
Please feel free to tune into our last episode with our friend Paul, who talked about the pentatonics with us. But no, I do agree with you though. Like. Also, I can't listen to any of this stuff without like hurting my ears.
Oh yeah,
because I was wondering why I think I have tinnitus. I think it's because I used to listen to these at full volume when I was an adolescent. No, but Ease My Mind has one of the best. I also love when it gets really quiet.
Yeah,
it's so nice.
It's like it should work
as a house song. Oh God, I really would like. Honestly, I love the lyrics so much that I would kind of like to do it like a more chill version of it at some point, but it's so good. Like I love the lyrics too. It feels like you're drowning in sound.
Yeah,
I do love the little guitar riff in the middle of that. It's fun.
Like she's a great singer. I feel it's a nice change of pace after like what we've been going through. Skrillex knows when it's time to change the channel, but you shouldn't have to change the channel in the first place.
I hate this channel.
Like honestly, it's just I agree with you there. Like that used to be my favorite Skrillex song of all time. And I re-listened to it, just that one.
Yeah.
Like I knew what all the other ones sounded like, but I recently listened to Ease My Mind and I kind of went, wow, this is a lot louder than I remember it. You said shitting through a clarinet. I say it sounds like zebras on autotune.
Okay.
It's a little wild.
To each their own.
Like the ending.
Yeah.
Like this weird like thing. Do you like, ladies and gentlemen, how I sound out all the instruments? Is that a fun thing? I hope you enjoy that because that will be
stop.
That will be the next. Let's see, forever. Anyway,
talked about mouth sounds a lot last episode.
Yes, this podcast is going to be full of them.
Yes.
The more you keep trying to rampage our studio by throwing rocks inside,
the more we revolt.
So to that I say. This is awful. We're going to get redacted.
Fire away. Last track on the album.
I actually don't hate this one.
What did I say about this one? I guess some of these blended together. This unfortunately was one of them.
Of course. It's a nice chill, like
I will say the use of fuck on this album, like the word fuck, can be a little childish and immature, but again, it's a time capsule basically. It's supposed to be edgy. It's like it's appeasing to that demographic, like their demographic.
Emo EDM is wild.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is wild. And honestly, there aren't a lot of notable ones, and Skrillex is one of the only notable ones.
Yeah.
This is when he kind of started to leave his little EDM emo phase.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, he was heightened in it when it came to his first one, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, because he released so many dubstep songs that everybody was going like crazy for. But AJ, can I get your album rating?
Yeah. So I gave this a 3 out of 10 or a D tier. So I don't like this album at all.
Yeah.
Will never listen to it again. I don't hate it because I know what it is and I know who it's for, and it is not for me. I feel like in a similar vein to Pentatonics, it's like there's just too much going on, so it's too distracting, but that's the genre.
Of course.
So it's like, well, how could I criticize like a baby for being a baby? Like, it's just gonna do what it knows. And like, I can't really take that away from it.
No, I agree. Like I said before in the beginning, there is a reason why dubstep died.
Yeah. Like, it's very tiring. It gets very tiring very quickly.
Yes.
There are good moments. Like, there are genuine good moments on here. And then Skrillex just ruins it for me. Like, I hate almost all of these drops. Like, they just don't work. And I can't go back.
I feel like, honestly, even for somebody who liked dubstep, Skrillex peaked in his drops probably on his first.
Okay.
Maybe Bangarang. Bangarang is actually cool, though, because I was going to make you listen to that one originally.
I think I've heard, like, the title track. Like,
of course.
As we said, the mouth sounds aren't going to stop.
No, but honestly, Bangarang is fun because that one has like a lot of really weird tracks on it. Like I said, Breaking a Sweat by the Doors. Mm-hmm. But then there's also an orchestral suite.
Interesting.
At the very end, and it's the most heavenly thing I've ever heard in my life.
Is there any dubstep on that at all?
No.
Wow.
It's all orchestra.
Okay.
It's how I got into classical music, in fact.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's actually, it's how I got into Skrillex. I heard that one first, and I was like, wow, I want to know all the references. So then I listened to everything, and I knew all the references.
Huh.
No, but I understand your 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
8th grade me would be hurt, but present 20-year-old me definitely is not and understands completely. I definitely think that...
What is your rating, Matt?
Oh, on that?
Yeah.
So, Skrillex's Recess is probably going to have to be a 4. I'm going to give it only 1 point above AJ's because of nostalgic purposes. But at the same time, it is very dated.
Yeah.
And you can tell that it was made for a niche audience that I once was a part of, but I am really no longer a part of.
You're reformed.
I've kind of enjoyed the lighter side of EDM now.
Yeah.
Funk kind of ruined dubstep for me.
It's fun. It's just a superior version. It's so much better.
French house is just impeccable.
So good. Disco and funk influences on anything is fucking incredible.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Well, AJ, I think that just about wraps this up.
Yeah. Well, this was a really fun episode.
It really was.
Taking a look back at internet culture, both the good and the bad.
For sure, for sure.
Any final thoughts?
Skrillex killed the dubstep star.
That's true. Go listen to Floral Shoppe.
It's incredible.
It's a much better album.
It's so good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I am Matt Glass.
This was the Family Album, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.